Yeah, man. Well, how have you been, though, first and foremost?
I am good. I've been busy, but not complaining. Busy is good, right?
Always good, man. I love
Yep.
your hair right now. I'm loving
Good
the short look.
job.
Oh my
Good
goodness.
job.
It's been what, 5, 6 years? 6 years.
Yeah,
It's
just
crazy.
about that. Yep.
Unbelievable, man.
Yep. Time flies, right?
It's crazy. And now,
Yep.
we are colleagues, which is super awesome.
Yep.
Happy.
Back when it was just a dream, right?
Just a
And
dream.
you're
And here
here
we
now.
are. Yeah.
So
And
proud of you.
thank you, man. In a week, I'm going to take my licensure exam.
Okay, nice. And it'll be completely over now.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Last step.
Well, so you're in Barbados right now, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for agreeing to come on Talks with Toss.
No problem.
Yeah,
Happy
yeah.
to be here.
But I mean, I've always been fascinated with your career. I mean, just watching you grow and even learning about you back in Greece in the International Olympic Academy. Man, from you going to get your master's, from you doing the team physiotherapist stuff, and now you're here open up your own practice. Unbelievable.
It has been, a journey,
Yes.
but enjoyable for sure.
So I had to have you come on. I had to have you come on as a guest. You're too cool. You're too cool to pass it. But we can start with just basic introductions. You can just tell everybody a little bit about yourself and just what led to where you are today.
Where should I start? I am a physiotherapist here in Barbados. I always knew I wanted to be in the medical field. And I think I wanted to be a doctor originally. And then I kind of changed my mind from that. And I had an idea about physio and physical therapy from sports. And that's kind of what led me to go in that direction. And I actually did some volunteer hours at the hospital, which was a requirement to apply for PT school. And then I realized that, there's a lot more to physical therapy than just, the aspect of sports. And I was like, okay, well, I think this is something I could do. I see myself doing. And from there, went to Jamaica to study, came back home, worked for a bit, went to do my master's. Then after that is when I really started doing a lot more international travel with cricket team. And then once I finished that, I then felt like I was ready to start my own practice and kind of, be on my own and do stuff. And then the opportunity came up for me to move into my own space. So, I mean, I wasn't quite ready. I knew it's something that I wanted, but I just had to kind of go with it. So here I am in my own practice, private practice, in my own space and everything. So for sure, big girl things. Yes. But I am enjoying it, and I have enjoyed the entire time up till now.
Yeah, what an experience, man. I mean, so traveling and being a physio, tell us more about what that all entailed and the sports you were physio for, the events you traveled to. Tell us more about that.
Well, so I've done a couple games, international games. I've been to CAC games, I've been to Pan Am games, Commonwealth games. And those games are quite fun, but a lot of hard work at the same time because the teams can be quite big. And on many occasions, I'd be the only physiotherapist along with a massage therapist and maybe one or two doctors, if so much. So yeah, all the work comes down to the physiotherapist doing everything in terms of getting the athletes ready for competition, managing them during their competition, and then afterwards getting them ready for the next day. Yeah, so the games can be fun, but also very, very taxing. In cricket, I was the physio for the West Indies women's team for just under 2 years. And on that assignment, I would have been traveling and working with the team over that period. So their schedule was like either in a training camp or traveling to compete with some international team. So the team was based in Antigua at the time. So I was living there in Antigua, and then basically either in training camp, like I said, or traveling to play England, New Zealand, whoever. So that again was quite intense because I was away from home for long periods of time. And like I said, everything, all the work it falls on the physiotherapist. We didn't have a team doctor who was with the team that stayed with the team all the time. So basically anything medical or any injuries, everything I had to deal with. Yeah. Wow. So that's a little snippet into that.
How do you manage to keep track of all the athletes? Because I'm assuming, some have more needs than others, whether it be their position, if they're starting, or if they're a reserve, or if they have current injuries.
Right.
How do you keep track of all of that while traveling?
So basically with the cricket team, I guess it was easier because eventually is a small team, maybe like 15 athletes. So eventually you get to know all the players and you understand them, what they need, what's required of them. For the games, it might have been a little bit more challenging because the number of athletes are way more athletes, and a lot of them, some of them are based overseas, some of them live in Barbados. So being familiar with all of them can be a bit challenging. But what we would usually do is we would have medical screening at least maybe 2 months out or 6 weeks before the games or before we travel. So that provides the opportunity to actually meet the athletes, hear what's happening with them, any challenges, and then kind of start to build that relationship with the management team, as well as the athletes that are going to whichever games it is. So, you just have to meet up, talk, and try to get as much information from them as possible.
When it came to the games, how many athletes would you say you had to oversee at one instance in one given period?
I think most I had CAC games was a pretty big team. We had 2 physios, but it was about, I don't want to lie to you. Because we had 2 team sports. We had hockey teams, both male and female. We had rugby teams, male and female. Yeah. So we had, it was about, I think 200 athletes. I'm not going to lie to you. We had track athletes. We had, and 2 team sports, both male and female. So it was a big contingent. And apart from that, I think Pan Am Games was another big team, at least like 80 athletes or something.
Oh my God.
Or 50 or something. No, it was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot. But
more than
that. The only good thing with the games is that athletes usually come in just before the start of their competition, and then they leave kind of after. So you have people coming and going. So they're not always all there at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's the only good thing.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot.
Did the nature of the sport or whatever the position that athlete had in that specific sport, did that ever change how you approached your screens or how you managed them during play or anything during the games?
Yeah, for sure. The type of sport it is, and definitely influences what is required. What you do with a rugby player is going to be different to what you do, with another athlete.
All the strappings,
non-contact. Exactly. Yeah. So certain, they will require a lot more taping and that kind of stuff. Track athletes, they need to have their flushes and their massages, and they need their stretching, and so different sports, different athletes, how to work things, yeah, based on what they need.
And did that just kind of come with your experience, or was that something you focused on in your studies while in school, or was it a mixture of both?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both, because you have an idea from school, but then when you're actually on the ground, then you have to learn quickly and figure out things quickly. Everything might not be as perfect as what you would have learned in school, but you definitely have to apply what you've learned based on the situation, and then maybe tweak whatever what was needed. Yeah.
Well, man, so speaking of like thinking like strappings and ice or massage or whatever the case is that you need for an athlete or all the athletes, how would you prepare when it comes to equipment? How do you do it?
Right. Yeah, I think that was one of the I wouldn't say nerve-wracking, but it made me nervous for my first tour. Do I have everything? What else could, trying to make sure you have everything and you're prepared. But again, that comes with practice, and that comes with, playing around with different supplies and different things, and you identify what you want and what you are comfortable using, different products, different supplies and stuff like that. And then there's certain things that for sure, all right, I definitely cannot go anywhere without this particular muscle rub, or whatever the case may be. Yeah. So initially, having a list and making a list is so important, because in those earlier stages, you're not really sure, you don't have everything in your head. So it's best to have things down on paper, and you literally go through and take off and make sure that you have everything that you need. So I used to classify things by, like I would have a little box for cuts and bruises, abrasions. Then you have your medicine box with any painkillers, that starts cough and cold, and then the muscle rubs and everything, and then everything to do with icing, these bandages, the strapping, taping, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So, and then after a while, you kind of you get familiar with everything and what you want to use. So then it comes like clockwork.
Oh, gosh, yeah. No, let me tell you, because I have aspirations, not necessarily for entire like sports teams, but specifically to rugby. But even with that, the things that I've been looking up and like just inquiring from other PTs, other physios, it's a lot.
It is a lot.
Talking about not even rugby 15s, it's just rugby 7s. So there's like 12 people tops.
Yeah.
and in my mind, it's like, woo, oh my gosh, all these things to consider.
Yep.
And then, but I'm sure like with trial and error, it comes to like, okay, I didn't really need this type of equipment. I needed way more of this, or well, I planned for like, you think about the most common injuries or the most common complaints, and then some random injury that you would never expect happens, and it's like, okay.
Yes.
And so it's one of the things that, before I go back home, I've been trying to read up on a little bit more, but there's only so many resources out there before, like you said, when you're on the ground, when you're at the games events, and I'm only coming from—
that's when you'll learn.
Yeah, I'm only coming from a perspective as an athlete, but things as small as, like you said, the blisters or abrasions, how that can impact—
those are big.
Yeah, how that can
those
impact
are big.
Performance astronomically, because I had a blister and I was like, this is just it's
insane.
Enough to distract you from your performance. And when it's fixed, it's like, you're amazing, you're a magician, I love you, yes, we need physios, we need medical teams.
For sure.
But can you imagine if he hadn't had it, or he forgot it, or it was the wrong type of whatever, like, he got the wrong one, and it's just all of that it could be a whole cascade of events.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, but speaking of specific equipment, do you have any, like you had mentioned, go-tos, like must-haves anytime I travel, regardless of the sport, regardless of the athlete?
I would say maybe since doing my instrument assistive soft tissue manipulation course, my tool, my like grassland tool, like that for sure has to go. Like for sure, it helps save my hands. It works miracles. It's like it has to go. It has to be in there. Maybe my cups, my silicone cups as well. And then I don't know what else.
Well, I know
you just definitely have to have tapes and stuff.
Do you have a brand?
But yeah, I would say
the most for the tape.
A brand for the tape. Right now I like dynamic tape. Dynamic tape works nice.
I know you have a specific mat table though. I know you have a specific treat that I'm very jealous about, and we need to share this because even my mentor back home, he was looking at that like, oh, what a treat it would be to have as a traveling PT.
Yes, no, that is also really amazing. That table, because sometimes traveling and stuff can be cumbersome to lug around with the table, but that one is actually inflatable. It fits into a bag that can literally go on my back or can roll like a suitcase.
Yeah.
And I love it. Everyone loves it too. So definitely a good investment.
Oh man. Sure. Because I can imagine how cumbersome it is to lug the treatment table that's only foldable. Yep. And then you're already carrying other stuff in your kit. And it's just like one less thing to worry about when it comes to time, when it comes to energy, when it comes to travel. Because I'm sure there has probably been some hiccups with traveling with items that big, even with your kit.
Yep. It's only good for packing things in it.
Yeah.
So when we come back, we would, stuff everything inside. So but apart from that, it's like, oh my God, this table. Who wants to carry the table today?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So with responsibilities, I'm sure it's like either the athletes are helping you or someone else from the medical staff, but it's ultimately still you carrying all the equipment because it's yours.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know. I can imagine we're probably the same in that if it's my things and I don't, I want to make sure it's good to go. I'm not gonna rely on somebody else to care about my equipment the same way.
You can't. No, that's your responsibility. For sure.
Oh my goodness. Well, so moving over to a different topic, can you tell us more about how it's been opening up a practice? Because that was since 2019, huh? So still very new.
Yeah. So I think this story is crazy too because of COVID. So I would have come back to Barbados like early, the mid to end of January 2020. And then literally, I think I worked for a month and a half before we went into complete lockdown because of COVID.
Wow.
So can you imagine finally taking, that? Yes, finally taking that big leap and starting on your own. Oh my gosh. You're in a month and a half, things are going well. And then this thing called COVID comes up, which no one knows about. No one knows how long it's gonna last. No one knows what's gonna happen. Yeah. Are we all gonna what are we gonna make it through? Like what's gonna happen? Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I think I used that opportunity to then I had to keep going. Like I had to find a way. So, okay, we're doing online. Let's do online. I had never done online. Like I've never done a consultation online in my life. I was like, all right, we can do this because we got to find a way to keep going, And I remember I actually set up the same table you were talking about, and that was my desk, and I had my laptop. And I had my stuff there, and you know, we got through the next month because we were on lockdown for about a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then they allowed medical people to still to reopen the following month, and then things kind of improved slowly, and you know, went well. Yeah, what else can I say? The rest of the year it was a rough year, 2020, you know, just because of COVID and everything that was happening. And you know, every time you feel like you got a little ways, then it's like you kind of set back again. But after a while, you know, we understood what was required, what it was, and then, you know, people were a little more comfortable going about their business, not as usual, but you know, still getting back out there and stuff.
Some sort of
normalcy. And then yeah, like I said, the opportunity came up for me to then have my own space entirely, because where it was before, I was sharing the space amongst like 4 other physios and athletic therapists. And yeah, it was a really good opportunity in a really good location that I could not really pass up. Yeah, so it was a case of ready or not, here you go, let's go. So yeah, all I can say is really, I don't know, I honestly wasn't sure how I was gonna do it, what was gonna happen, how I was gonna get everything in place. But again, another big leap of faith. And thankfully, yeah, everything worked out. Things fell into place. I have pretty much everything that I needed to be able to operate and start. Just a few little finishing touches here and there that I, you know, want to get done, hopefully by the end of the year. But faith over fear, that's all I can say. That's all I can say, okay?
So what would
but that's truly what it was.
Yeah, no, but what would you say was your biggest learning curve throughout the process? Whether it be just as a physio on your own, or even on the business side, or logistics like equipment and like planning the floor plan. What would you say is the biggest?
That's a really good question. I think for me personally, I know that I know about physiotherapy. I'm a good physiotherapist. This is my area. I think a lot of people can, or as entrepreneurs, tend to want to do everything on their own, but you have to outsource help in areas that are not your specialty. So for me, I got someone who was able to help me draft up the plans and everything. I mean, I had a good idea of what I wanted and how I wanted the space to be, but again, in terms of measurements and making sure I really maximize use of the space that I had, I needed to have someone that would help me, you know, put that in place, and to make sure I had simple things like colors and, you know, everything coming together as I wanted it to do in my head. And then on the finance side of things, that's another area that I just have, you just have to get help, you know, you can't do everything on your own. And I think recognizing that and actually allowing people to help you in areas that you are not au fait with, yeah, exactly, then that's most important. And it's kind of hard to do sometimes, because then you think about, oh, that's another expense, or that is like, I could do this myself, but then you get overwhelmed with everything, and then something ends up falling short. So I think recognizing that early and actually asking for help and getting help in those areas is probably the biggest, I won't say lesson, but I would advise people to consider.
Something you would advocate for people who are in your similar situation. Because you're completely right. I mean, I can't speak for the programs that you were in, but at least for me personally, they don't necessarily cover business planning or finances in depth at all. And
not at all. And
so, I mean, the idea of opening up a business is so daunting, and things as simple as colors on the wall.
Simple things. Yep.
Like
simple things.
You can't have the capacity for that when you're talking about numbers and you're talking about like location and floor plan and all of that, I'm like, yeah, completely right. It's nothing I'm an expert at all.
Exactly.
And I owe a lot of my success to what others have taught me, not
Yeah.
the other way around. And then the things that I've learned on my own were often hard lessons.
Yeah. I mean, but those are good too.
Yeah.
You have to have those to be able to, you know, to grow and to learn. Yeah, those things have to happen. You have to make mistakes. It's gonna happen, but it's about learning from them and making sure that you know, take what you need from that mistake and move forward with it, for sure.
So at this point, are you still doing and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you were doing an aquatics program for pregnant mothers. Are you still?
Yeah, that is my baby. And I mean, when that idea came to me, I don't even know where it came from, but I thought, you know, there's antenatal classes, been there, done that. Where the last facility I was at, there was a pool, and I thought to myself, you know, in the final stages of pregnancy, it gets so difficult for mothers to move around, to do stuff. Why not get them in a pool? And I just thought to myself, like, why isn't anyone doing this? Like, this is genius. Like, this is great. Like, exactly. You know, we should have exercise for pregnant ladies, and you know, their final stages.
When I saw those videos, I was like, oh my gosh, look at this.
Yeah, right. And I'm telling you, they love it. They love it. It's their time to offload. Mm-hmm. It's their time to be able to feel free to move and be able to exercise. Because there's some people that, you know, they're uncomfortable, they're not having the best pregnancy, and then if they've been used to being active and working on exercising before, it takes a toll on them because they feel like they can't do anything. And then being in the water then allows them to work out and feel like, you know, I'm doing something good. And then again, just relax, because just being in the water is relaxing. Just getting in the water, you're being forced to relax, even if you don't want to. Like, just being in it, there's an element of relaxation for sure. So they enjoy it. I enjoy teaching them. I enjoy seeing the babies when they come. I enjoy, and then
I forget that part. I just see the videos of the mamas in the pool. I forget the part where the babies are actually born.
It's literally like a little community. They get to share their journey through pregnancy, after pregnancy, and just, I love seeing it, to be honest.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit more about the basics of the program? I mean, like, just simple things, how long, what the focus is.
Right. So it's a 6-week program. We have sessions twice a week. It's a half an hour session. I usually incorporate elements of relaxation and stretching into every session. But generally, the classes are meant to provide a space for them to exercise. And we go pretty hard exercising, and then we relax at the end. And then just share challenges, experiences, share a bit about changes, body changes, what to expect. That's really what it's all about.
That's amazing. I mean, I can only imagine. Of course, you have the exercise component, but like you had said, them sharing their journeys, you educating them on simple things, on the basic changes that they're going to experience. I mean, I can imagine how much that helps from the mental, emotional, their confidence and their preparedness for delivery and after. I mean, goodness, I'm all about it. I love it so much.
Thank you.
And man, you know what? So, because the program that I was in for PT school, one of our professors was a huge proponent on aquatic therapy. So we had a bunch of labs for that. And I would remember, you know, you're in the water, you're doing your thing, but when you get out, you feel gassed. You are smoked. It is.
Yes.
And so they're probably feeling the exact same way. Like, I never worked that hard, because it's resistance from all directions.
Yep. Resistance from all directions. And that's the thing. When you look in, you're like, oh, that's easy, you know?
Yeah.
But when you actually get in and have to work against the resistance of the water,
And then you
it's
get
a different
out.
story. Yeah,
Like,
and then you get on.
whoa,
Yeah.
whoa,
You're like, woo.
my legs are shot.
Yep. Yep.
I love it.
Sure.
Amazing stuff. Love learning about that. I mean, I could literally just talk to you about just that program, but we'll keep it there. So outside of everything that you're already doing, are there any other projects in the works?
I mean, I have lots of ideas, but for now, I just want to settle, at least for the rest of the year. Just settle, you know.
We made it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Just take a moment to, to breathe here, before you jump on the next task. I want to start back traveling a little bit more. So hopefully I'll, do a little bit more of that next year. And then, work on a few other things next year. Yeah.
So speaking of stress and just kind of being able to just calm things down, do you have any tips or go-to routines that help manage stress? Because I can imagine stress levels can run pretty high.
Yes. For me, my shower time is like top. At the end of the day, I have like a shower gel on mornings to give me a boost. Then I have something else that I use at night to just help me like mellow out, come down. I really try to get my sleep, especially when I start to feel it in my body. Like my body is telling me that, all right, you are doing a lot and you need to like dial back a bit. So I try to get in my bed by 10 o'clock for sure. And then the biggest challenge right now is me getting back to the gym and exercising. I have not been in at least a year and a half, which is ridiculous. I know, right? Exactly. I don't know. Good. Well, thanks. But I am so not where I need to be on that level. And I know that it would definitely help me. So yeah, trying to get back to that and to sticking to my times, because I feel so guilty when people come and say, oh, can I come at this time? And, that's my gym time. But then I'm like, I feel so bad to say no. So I have to be a little bit stricter, a little more strict with my time and my hours, and just, making sure that time I set aside to do whatever it is for myself is a non-negotiable. And I'm sorry, but I can't. And
especially where you're at right now, you work so hard.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, school and then going back to school and then doing the travel thing and then working simultaneously and then opening up a program. And you do health and wellness for the work.
Yes, and I have another company. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot happening.
Oh my goodness. Another topic. Oh my goodness. So all these moving parts, like boundaries, I can imagine, is so important. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So having a routine, getting enough sleep, and listening to your body, most importantly, yes. Because
it definitely gives us warning signs. We just tend not to listen sometimes. Definitely have to listen.
It's such a battle, and it's like for me in this part of my life, because it's studying, training, and just trying to make the most of the time here before I move back to Guam. And I found myself where it's like, just keep doing do this, add this, do this, all of it. And then I start to realize like, oh my gosh, it's impacting my sleep. I'm feeling stressed out. My eating habits are so poor. And so when you take a second to realize that and take a step back, it's actually to your benefit to have boundaries, even just for yourself, not even moving parts, just with yourself. Like, Tatsi, you need to like by this hour, you need to stop studying, stop looking at a screen, go work out or go for a walk.
Yes. No, for sure.
Water.
For sure.
But it impacts everything, my training performance. It impacts the quality of my study. So I can imagine for you, it's the same thing. It only translates to your patients,
Yeah.
To other things, anything, interacting with people socially. Yeah.
Yep.
So, man, yes, very helpful information. And speaking of information, is there any resources or any go-tos that have really helped you that you would recommend to people who are interested in this field?
I love the British Journal of Sports Medicine app, and their resources are always amazing. They have excellent papers, peer-reviewed stuff. I used to read a lot more before than now, but you know, even just following them on Instagram, things pop up, and you know, when I have the time, I would still click and follow through. But they have an app where they have the podcast listed on there. They have papers that come up every week. Yeah, so that is definitely a very good resource and something that I found useful throughout my time.
A podcast, yeah, because I know they have their Instagram and the app, but
yeah,
I hadn't thought about their podcast, and I love podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Goodness. All
so
right.
That's a good one.
Write that down too for myself.
Yeah. Check it out.
Yeah. So where can listeners connect with you online?
So you could go on my website, that's pops-physio.com, or my Instagram is pops_physio_246. Either one, the website has links to everything. So either one, or just Google Pops and yeah, you'll find us. Yeah.
And POPS stands for, can you share what POPS stands for?
Yeah, so it's Physiotherapy and Optimal Performance Services.
Yeah, POPS. And so there you can find like little clips of even your aquatics program, your health and wellness business as well for the workplace.
Yeah, everything's on the website.
Okay, and even some of your traveling physios fun.
Yes. Yeah.
So jealous of, but
you're gonna get there.
I hope. I really
you will.
And last but not least, the most important question: what is your favorite muscle?
What is my favorite muscle? Oh my gosh, I don't. Let's see. What is my favorite muscle?
It does throw people. I love you. Anybody in our field or in the healthcare field, I'm like, quick question: what's your favorite muscle?
I don't know. I feel like, is it the quads?
Hey, man.
We need the quads. The quads are essential. They work hard. They do a lot of stuff. I think I'm gonna have to say the quads.
The reason why the quads are your
favorite. Yeah. The quads, they are fire. They are fire. They are fire.
Wait, is the whole muscle group or a specific quad muscle?
Why did you do that? Why? Let's go with the whole group. The whole group. They all fire.
They do fire at the same time.
There you go. They all fire.
Oh my goodness, man, Marita, this has been so much fun. I really enjoyed talking to you. Man, I learned a lot, and I can't wait to share this with everybody. So thanks again.
Thank you so much. Thank you too. I love it. I'm so proud of you again. I know that you're going to do great things. So keep going. Good luck in your final exam.
Yeah.
And we should meet up. I don't know how, when, or where, but yeah.
Wait, let me pause this recording.